Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patsun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/relationship advice, where OP discovered his fiance's dirty little secret. Let's begin. My fiance cheated with someone she met in our talking stage. Posted by Reddit user ZMoney47.
So, this just happened last night, and before I tell you what happened, I need to tell you some backstory. Back about 3 months ago, I was being overly flirty with one of my female friends, saying really dirty and nasty things. I got caught, we talked over it, and we both agreed I cheated. Last night, I accidentally opened up iMessage from hitting the wrong app. We've been together for almost a year, but we've known each other since October 2021. In mid-November 2021, while we were in our talking stage, another man added her on Snap after one of her college parties. Once we became official, it was clear to both of us. She no longer needed to talk to him, so she agreed to cut him off. So back to iMessage. The second most recently texted person was that same guy, and they played truth or dare. She sent him nude pics and vids that were recorded specially for me. She said so many things to him. When I approached her about it, she wouldn't answer why for a long time. It came down to, I guess, that I was too busy at work and with my own life, that she wanted to talk to somebody, and she essentially told me she was pretending he was me. And I guess in a way I understand, but that dude benefited off my fiance's tits. He got off to that stuff, and I don't like that. So yeah, I understand people may say I deserve this because I cheated too, but for as nasty of stuff as I was saying to the one girl, it doesn't even come close to what she was saying. How could you say you were falling for him since last year and haven't stopped? How could you plan to possibly book a hotel room for New Year's knowing you sleep right next to me? I just need help, guys.
Okay, I need to address this. OP, your biggest issue is a girl you have known for a little over a year as your fiance. Dude, what is wrong with you? You literally do not have a clue who this person is, or how they will react to conflict, how they will react when shit hits the fan. What you do know is that she needs outside validation to make herself feel better. Look, OP, you fucked up. You're both cheaters. One of you is gonna cheat again eventually. So just stop this toxicity before it gets worse. Break up. Learn from this experience. And in the future, you need to do better. Never cheat again, OP. And now for today's second story. My girlfriend has all these rules that are driving me crazy. Posted by Reddit user Busco.
I'm posting this from a throwaway because my girlfriend uses Reddit and will freak out if she found out I did this. My girlfriend and I have been together for 3 years. She is the best thing that ever happened to me, and I plan on marrying her. Lately, however, her rules, I call them rules, but they are more like obsessions, are driving me crazy. I know she is meticulous, I know she is particular, and I know she's a perfectionist, but I'm starting to think she has some kid of underlying OCD or something. Our house always has to be pristine, everything in its right place. But when I get off from work, I just want to relax and not care about the fact that I hung up my jacket on the wrong hook. If I try to help her with laundry, she gets frustrated because I hang up the wrong things at the wrong places. Apparently, shirts go in a certain place on the laundry line, and it's a disaster if they're too close to the socks. I'm not allowed barefoot outside, otherwise I have to wash my feet before I can get back into the house. I'm allowed to put my feet on the couch if I have socks or slippers, but those same socks and slippers are not allowed on the bed. Sometimes I just want to get into bed without having to put on clean socks. If a pillow so much as touches the floor, it has to be washed. But then the designated pillowcase for that particular set of sheets doesn't match, so the whole bed has to be stripped and changed. All our sheets and pillowcases are white and look exactly the same. She reminds me to pack my lunch for work every morning, which is nice and all, but she does it 4 times in a row. She tells me every morning and every night to wash and moisturize my face multiple times, and makes me promise that I will remember to do it only because I passed out on the couch and forgot one time. I've told her that it bothers me when she does this. She told me that she can't help it because it just builds and builds in her mind over and over if she doesn't say anything. I'm not allowed to say goodbye to her in the mornings, only see you later because goodbye could curse one of us. I'm also not allowed to say drive safe. She is currently studying for her board exams, and she's already told me that I'm not allowed to say good luck because I will jinx her. She is extremely intelligent and graduated at the top of her class last year. I told her mom about how well she did and how proud I was of her. Later that night, she was bawling her eyes out. When I asked her what was wrong, she said that she knew I didn't mean anything by it, but if people are aware of how well she did, it means that she will do poorly in her board exams. Her mother told all her whole family, who then called to congratulate her, and I felt like the worst person in the world. I feel like things are just getting worse. For example, one of the cloths that we use to clean the house with is missing. We had a huge argument about it because she was tearing down the whole house trying to find it. I helped her look for it but gave up after 5 minutes because it was after work and I was tired. She got angry at me and accused me of not caring about our things. I told her that I do care about our things, but it's just a cloth and we can buy another one. It's just not worth the effort for me. She was freaking out saying that it was difficult to find the cloths in that particular color, otherwise it wouldn't match with the others. We have a whole set of cloths just for cleaning. I then said that it doesn't matter what color the cloths are, just that we had them, which made her really upset. It's been almost a month and we haven't replaced the cloth yet because we can't find one in the very specific color she wants it. The worst thing is that I really think it affects her health. We both love to cook and often do it together. We usually spend time together drawing up a meal plan for the week, but her rules have started to make the whole process unbearable. Meal planning takes hours. Every dish that we make has to have enough vegetables. Fine, that's great, but the vegetables have to be the right vegetables for the dish. Some things can't be eaten together because they don't fit according to her. If a meal doesn't have enough of the right vegetables, she gets incredibly anxious to the point that she's nauseous, and then just won't eat. She also has this thing where food can't be wasted, and then I tell her it's fine, we can just have it for leftovers for lunch, but obviously lunch is also then planned out, so she gets really stressed out and eats a small plate of vegetables while I make myself food. I know she's struggled with depression in the past and that she's on antidepressants, but this just feels like it's something more. No matter what I do to reassure her, I just feel like I'm making things worse. I've told her that she needs to see a therapist, but she told me she feels ashamed of these things and doesn't want to waste money on a therapist. I just don't know what to do anymore. TLDR, my girlfriend has a lot of rules that drive me crazy. Everything always has to be in its right place, and she gets anxious when it isn't. I'm not allowed to say certain things like goodbye or good luck because it will jinx her. We spent hours meal planning because every dish has to be right and only certain things can be eaten with certain things. Most of the time she stresses so much about getting enough vegetables that she gets nauseous from anxiety and just doesn't eat. I've told her that I think she needs to see a therapist, but she says it will just be a waste of money. Update. Thanks everyone for all your helpful advice, comments, and suggestions. I will try and respond to as many as I can, but if I don't get to you, please know I appreciate the input. We had a talk last night and she agreed to go to therapy. She said she is very reluctant to go to therapy because she fears that talking about this stuff will lead to bad things happening. She told me that many of these rules are distressing to her too, but she didn't really realize they had that much of an effect on her because she was still functioning normally. She also apologized for the fact that I feel like I can't relax and said it made her very sad and that she will do what she can to make sure I am comfortable and happy. We are also currently working on some strategies that will help ease some of the burden these rules have on me. We will be getting a coat hanger so that I don't instinctively hang my coat on the first hook I see, but rather as I come in the door, which works out better for both of us. I also made dinner on my own last night since she had a study session until very late, and she was very grateful and happy, maybe just because she was hungry but it was a win in any case. The meal didn't fit together perfectly according to her, and there weren't enough vegetables, but I said that the meal fit together perfectly in my mind, and that we could double up on vegetables at the next meal. She told me that by me saying that it actually made her feel a lot less stressed about it.
OP, she should definitely be evaluated for OCD or other anxiety disorders, but regardless of whether she gets a diagnosis or not, living with her sounds pretty unbearable. And you are allowed to not enjoy living in this way. You are allowed to not want to do it anymore. Look, the benefit of getting a diagnosis and getting therapy in general is that she can get some tools to help her learn how to live with others despite her compulsions. Her compulsions do not need to be your compulsions. And trust me, as someone with OCD myself, people with OCD can really learn to manage their compulsions more effectively than this. OP, please make sure that you communicate to her that getting therapy is definitely not a waste of money, given how unhappy this behavior makes you. She knows how frustrating this is to you, right? You've communicated your feelings about all of these rules and attempted to reach some mutually agreed upon compromises. If it still doesn't work, I strongly advise that you drop the angle that she needs to see a therapist for her own mental health. Instead, make this about your needs as her partner, as her boyfriend. Tell her that it's making you miserable. Maybe that will get the horses running. Our final story is from r/Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for changing the package pickup each time someone uses my email for orders? Posted by Reddit user Tree on Reddit.
So pretty much, there's this guy who keeps ordering things with my email. He isn't using any other personal information of mine, so I don't think it's a privacy concern. So back to the point, I will occasionally get emails from random websites about an order confirmation. I've never heard of most of those websites, and I know for a fact none of my family members used my email to buy something. With most emails, there's a number, name, and an address. I'm assuming it's the person's address attached. I've tried texting the number and even calling, but I've never gotten an answer. I'd always get emails from UPS to confirm the pickup and drop-off area. Ever since I've gotten the emails, I always change the location for delivery. So instead of it being delivered at his doorstep, it gets shipped to a post office 20 miles away. He can't change that since, like I said, it's all attached to my email. I recently got an email from the guy, and turns out the reason he keeps writing my email is because his and mine are both almost identical. Imagine mine is a BC, his is a CB, so he always switches one letter, therefore I get the emails. In his email, he calls me an asshole for making the pickup so far. When I asked him why can't he just use his own email, he said, "It's always a typo I do and I don't feel like fixing it because it takes too much time." I'm not even joking, that's exactly what he said. So am I the asshole for sabotaging this guy's packages? Update. A few of you asked for an update, so may as well. First of all, there was a lot of questions on the last post. Sorry for not answering any of them. The post got big really quick and I guess I got overwhelmed. So to answer a few questions, why didn't I cancel his orders? I would get emails from UPS and from there, I can only change the location of the package. I believe if I wanted to cancel it, it would have to be from the company itself. I tried emailing them, but they said that it was an honest mistake from the other guy, so there was no need to cancel. It wasn't an honest mistake. It was like the 10th time it happened. Another question was, why 20 miles away? That's the furthest location it was able to give me for some reason, so I figured I'd stick with it. Okay, so now for the update. He ended up messaging me again and called me out once again, saying I'm an asshole, and I ruined his day by making him drive 20 miles both ways. I just said that it's exhausting getting emails that should be for him, and that as long as he keeps using mine, I'll be putting his packages further and further away. I can't actually do more miles. It was just to scare him. I also used the analogy many of you wrote in the comments. It takes less time to correct the email than to drive 20 miles. I think this really opened up his eyes, because on the next message he sent me, he apologized and said that I was right. It shouldn't happen again. All in all, I think things went relatively smooth. I'm hoping that it doesn't happen again, or else I'll just change the location once again. TLDR. He apologized for using my email, says it won't happen again.
When I was a wee lad, I never used to believe people could be as lazy as the guy you had to deal with, OP. That is until I started working in call centers. Alright gentlemen, let me tell you some real shit. Many moons ago, I was working in a call center that was owned by a certain bank there in the US. And quite often, I would get calls of customers requesting to change their address, their email, or maybe their phone number, despite having the ability to do it online for themselves. You only need to log in, go to settings, change whatever you need to change, and then boom, you're done. It takes like 2 minutes. Instead, you want to call us, spend 40 minutes in a phone queue, and then ask me to do the changes. I don't get the logic there. Why don't you just do it online? Why don't you just do it yourself? It will save you a tremendous amount of time. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.